So I want to talk with you real quick. I told you yesterday that I would help you with this today, right? So it's today, so let's talk about it. This was your answer matrix on 20, and this is your answer matrix on 21. And we kind of talked about yesterday, if you got something like this, it was probably no solution, but that's not all it could be, okay? It's either no solution or all of the solutions, like infinitely many solutions. And you need to be able to tell the difference about which one is which, okay? You know that something's wrong with these. Why? There's not a one diagonal. There's not a one diagonal, right? And here there's a number, and here there's a number, here there's a number, here, and those are supposed to be zeros, aren't they? Okay? When it doesn't happen like that, when it does happen like this, you have to be able to tell the difference about whether no solution or infinitely many solutions. If you were solving it with elimination and you got something that was like 5 equals 5, 5 does equal 5. 5 will always equal 5, so that would be infinitely many solutions. But if you got 7 equals 5, 7 will never equal 5, so that is no solution. Okay? It's not as easy to tell here with matrices, but it kind of is if you think about it. Okay? Here's how I remember it personally. Okay? I look at the very bottom line, and that tells me if it's no solution or infinitely many solutions. Look. To me, that looks like two infinity signs. If my entire row of zeros, if my entire row is zeros, that's infinitely many solutions. Do you see how this row is not all zeros? Then that's no solution. Does that help? Okay, so on several of your problems from last night, you had what you thought might be no solutions, but you got to look back and see, is the bottom row all zeros or is the bottom row not all zeros? If it's all zeros, that's infinitely many solutions. Okay? Nope, you got to write the words infinitely many solutions, because it's not really the same situation or the same thing right now as all real numbers. Okay? Any questions about that? So what our lesson is kind of on today is really on something you already know how to do. Okay? So I'm just going to talk about a couple things before I let you go to work on your homework. Okay? What it's really on is word problems. You've been doing word problems for a long time, haven't you? Okay? So if I tell you to do a word problem for me, is that something you struggle with? You had to do 2 of them on last night's homework. Did you struggle with them at all? Let's talk about a word problem where we're buying some furniture. Okay? I'm buying furniture. I'm telling you in the word problem, I'm going to buy a sofa, a love seat, and a chair. Okay? So the first thing I need to do is kind of set up some variables. I want to define some variables. And saying X, Y, and Z, those are the variables I'm going to use, that's not really defining variables. Okay? Saying X is sofa, Y is love seat, and Z is chair, that is defining variables. I know now what X is standing for. I know what Y is standing for. I know what Z is standing for. Okay? That's what I mean by defining variables. But there's another thing I want you to think about. Okay? These are the variables we're comfortable with. We've used them a lot. But sometimes defining my variables as S and L and C might be even better. Why might that be better? It's the first letter of the word, right? These are called meaningful variables. They're still variables. They just mean something in the problem. So if I go do all my work and I get S equals 200, then I know a sofa equals 200, right? It tells me that. I don't have to look back and say, oh yeah, if it was X, okay, that's a sofa. Okay? So in my system of equations, I want to tell you this. A sofa and a love seat together is $1,300. A sofa and 2 chairs is $1,400. And one of each is $1,600. Could you set up a system of equations from that information? Okay, so let me tell you what I said again. A sofa and a love seat is $1,300. What would that equation look like? S plus L equals 1,300. A sofa and 2 chairs is 1,400. S plus 2C equals 1400. Hey guys, why did I use a cursive L here for love seat? So it's not an L, right? So we don't confuse it with the 1, okay? All right, and then one of each is $1,600. S plus L plus C is $1,500. Is that a system of equations you could solve? Okay, so what would my matrix look like then? 1, 1. Uh-oh, there's not a C. So I just leave a space? Oh, 0. Okay. 1,300, right? And then 1, 0, 2, 1,400. Good. 1, 1, 1, 1,500. Oh, guys, I got to fix that. Otherwise, we're going to get it wrong. I wrote the wrong number down. It should be 1,600. Please forgive me for that. Is this a system we could solve? It is, right? Now, on your in your book yesterday, some of the problems said solve with an augmented matrix. I showed you what that was, kind of. Let me show you with this problem right here what an augmented matrix is. Okay. But a lot of times there's like a dotted line right here. Why? Because they want you to keep the variables and the answers separate. That's an augmented matrix. You okay with that? We need to get it where all these diagonals are 1. Are they all 1? And are all these right here all zeros? No. So we're going to use RREF. What does that stand for? Reduced row echelon form, right? Reduced row echelon form. We're going to use that action on our calculator to solve this matrix. Okay? I want a new document, and no, I don't want to save the old one. I want a calculator. So I'm going to do menu, matrix, and I'm going to do RREF, reduced row echelon form. Make sure you choose reduced row echelon form and not just row echelon form, okay? Reduced row echelon form, menu, matrix, and then I need to create a matrix that is a 3 by 4. Oh yeah, it looks the right way and everything. Okay? 1 tab, 0 tab, 1,300 tab. I don't need to talk out loud when I do this. I'll be quiet. And then when I hit enter, I get a solution matrix that looks like that. Did you get that? Okay. So my answer matrix that I did after I did my reduced row echelon form, mine looked like this. 1, 0, 0, 800. 0, 1, 0, 500. 0, 0, 1, 300. Is that what you got? What does that mean? So we don't write it as a point? Would a point make sense in this situation? No, absolutely not. We're going to be grown-ups, because I think that was even one of the things we put in our social contract, right? You want to be treated a little bit more like adults. We're going to be adults, and we're going to write our answer in a complete sentence with a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence and punctuation at the end. Okay? So what is my sentence going to say? A sofa is $800, comma, a love seat comma, and I guess that comma is disputable. I like to put it there, sorry. And a chair is, whoa, $300. Now, some of you might like to put a period there. I'm going to be excited about it, so I'm going to put an exclamation point. Yes. I actually bought a sofa this summer and a chair. Well, more than one chair, but okay. Any questions about how to do word problems? Guys, it does not matter to me whether you use X, Y, and Z or whether you use meaningful variables. That is really a personal choice. Okay? If you're more comfortable with these, because that's what we've always used, you go right ahead. If you'd rather use meaningful variables, you go right ahead. That does not matter to me. Either way we do it, we will still get the right answer if we do the right work. Correct? Okay? So in these problems, I need the variable defined. I need the system written. I need your problem matrix, I need your answer matrix, and I need your answer that is not written as a point, but as a sentence. Okay? Now, I don't want to freak you out, but we could have written 3 sentences. A sofa is $800, period. A love seat is $500, period. A chair is $300, period. That's okay too. Okay? Is this called a compound sentence with multiple subjects and verbs? So that's fine too. Right? We can work on our English skills in math class. Yes, we can. Okay? Any questions? I know I only did one example. Is that enough? Are you okay with that? You're good? Positive? Okay, good. Ask questions if you have any. Get to work on the assignment on the board. Peace.